In this video, we are going to take a look at 10 ways you can become a high-value woman. We all love high-value women. Whether it be our friends, our colleagues, our lovers, or life partners, high-value women tend to radiate a sense of peace and assuredness that everyone around them catches. And this energy inspires the people around these women to behave better and lead wonderful lives. Even men who were on their ruins have achieved great heights after meeting a high-value woman. But how can you become a high-value woman? We'll take a look at that shortly, but before we do, we'd like to remind you that we bring these videos to you for free. Please show support to our channel by subscribing to us and encouraging us to make better videos. Hitting that like button is another way that you can support us. Okay, let's now dive right into the 10 ways that you can become a high-value woman. 1. Self-development at all stages of your life. If we are talking about a gold standard that separates a high-value woman from the rest is the fact that they are developing into more mature and respectful human beings at every stage of their lives. This is something that you need to do in order to become a high-value woman. Self-development doesn't simply mean just focusing on a particular skill set. After all, the most wonderful people we meet in our lives are the ones who know how to balance their work, family life, and social life, and in addition, are rejuvenated by new things that they are constantly learning from. So if you set the right attitude to develop all facets of your life, whether it be in terms of the growth you are seeking in your career, or whether you are learning to become better at cooking at home or learning smarter ways to manage your finances, you sure are in the right path to becoming a high-value woman. Number 2, embracing your femininity. People's perception of how the female sex behaves has two broad generalizations but polar classifications. There is an age-old picture of a woman who just puts up with everything because she's too gentle to retaliate. And there's another, perhaps a more rebellious version, that tends to discard all the so-called feminine values and urges women to become as brash as men. But there's a school of thought that doesn't acquiesce to either of these extremes. You can compete with men in the economic sphere. We all know that becoming frantically self-sufficient helps you in building your confidence and earn respect in society. But you can balance that with embracing womanhood in all its glory. After all, there are several scientific studies that even point out that without a mother's care and support, a child can simply not survive. Well, we aren't suggesting that embracing your femininity is all about having a child. There are lots of dimensions to it. Number 3, stick to your values. There are a lot of people who are born into families that teach them some simple values we have forgotten, such as not wasting any food because preparing a decent meal takes up human as well as natural resources, not being extravagant on shopping splurges as one can learn being content on modest means, or not bowing down to social pressures of achieving certain beauty standards. If you are one of the people who have these values ingrained in you, you shouldn't lose them. And if you are someone who hasn't learned these things, you certainly can. After all, qualities like these tend to be ageless. Wisdom like that has been handed down to us through generations, and it is certainly worthwhile to stick to these values and put an end to keeping up with the Joneses. Number 4, be emotionally intelligent. Daniel Goleman, the author of the world-renowned book Emotional Intelligence, once famously wrote, "Self-absorption in all its forms kills empathy, let alone compassion. When we focus on ourselves, our world contracts as our problems and preoccupations loom large. But when we focus on others, our world expands. Our own problems drift to the periphery of the mind and so seem smaller, and we increase our capacity for connection or compassionate action." Learning to be emotionally intelligent is not simply about being aware of our own emotions, but also of the ones around us. So whether it be supporting a friend who is suffering from a bout of anxiety or helping a colleague work up her way, a high-value woman is always up for it, and so should you. If you're in need of a helping hand, you can always shout out to someone without appearing needy. Number 5, become logical. Logic is something that brings about a sense of consistency in our behaviors and also helps others determine whether our actions are in accord with what we generally speak about. So it is better to develop a philosophy in life that you can stick to and make sure that your actions reflect that. After all, which high-value woman that you saw was a bundle of contradictions anyhow? Number 6, develop self-respect. The one who doesn't respect others often doesn't get it back. You may have seen that high-value women are respectful of others, but not to the point of being subservient. They often know when to be involved in a relationship and ride through the storms that come, but they also have a sense of when to back out when things start to get really ugly. Number 7, read more. Reading is one of the ways to keep yourself busy when you have a lot of spare time. In addition, it also provides you with ways to become better at your work, helps you improve your habits, and provides you with new ideas that help you become better at conversations. There are a lot of people who have bettered their eating habits with books like Ikigai, people who have had microscopic changes in their daily routines with books like Atomic Habits, all of which contribute to making your personality better. It will also help you become self-assured when you are in conversation with others. Number 8, develop leadership and communication skills. You might also have noticed that high-value women tend to be involved in community activities, volunteering work, and other charitable deeds. Well, these activities require good communication skills. It also probably involves leading certain groups of people who are looking to contribute positively to a certain cause. So you need to better your communication skills. Whether it be by conversing with people in a nicer way, or reading books, as we previously mentioned, to come up with smart solutions to problems, or even going out and organizing a funding campaign. You can do all that and so much more. After all, the more you give, the more you get back. Number 9, become kind and compassionate. Kindness and compassion are two shining lights that every person is looking out for in a high-value woman. Buddhists even say that it is compassion that saves the soul of wandering beings. If you can cultivate compassion and help someone get through even the smallest hindrances with your kindness and generosity, then they are bound to look up to you as a high-value woman. Sure, you might be going through some troubling times of your own, but there are certain meditative techniques, such as mindfulness and others, which activate certain neurons in your brain cells and help you generate compassion and kindness. Perhaps if you're struggling with your own, you can try them and then share your experiences with others. Number 10, Ooze class. What is oozing class anyhow? It is about not being out of place. If you are at a party, you're wearing the dress as much as it's wearing you. In other words, you and the dress blend seamlessly into one another. If you can keep this aura that you are not out of place doing the things that you have always wanted to, whether it be knitting or recycling or being involved in sports or organizing family picnics or charities, you'll always be seen as a high-value woman who is oozing class. After all, if it ever feels that high-value women are trying hard to become high-valued, they are perfectly at ease and never not at ease. And if you can be so too, express yourself through your art, your life, and the myriad of beautiful voices that make you. You'll sure ooze a lot of class like a high-value woman. You were not born as a high-value woman. The circumstances that you grew up around, the people that you meet, or even the type of parenting have a lot of influences on the way that women behave. Most of the time, it is the experiences that have made a woman high-valued. So the foremost thing you need to do is to learn from your experiences. If you think you're not happy about a particular situation you are in, go and dare to change it. And a piece of advice: don't try to mimic a high-value woman that you look up to. Every individual is different, so make sure that you don't repress your beautiful qualities in order to become like someone else. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And also, please subscribe to our channel with the notification bell to not miss out on any new videos. We'll see you soon with a new video, but in the meanwhile, you can watch the video on the screen.